Hey everyone, Crazy Jimmy here with another video. First of all, I'd just like to thank everyone that's subscribed so far. Really appreciate you guys hitting that subscribe button. Appreciate everyone that's commented and hit the like button as well. Please keep it going. Definitely helps with algorithms and allowing me to keep doing this. Obviously, it's fun for me. I don't make any money with it, but you know, the more subscribers, the better, because it allows me to be able to get like certain guests on and stuff down in the future. So, you know, the bigger the reach, the better, as far as the channel goes. So, hopefully you like what you're hearing and seeing so far. I think I'll only get better as I go. I mean, this is you know, I've done DJing for quite a few years, but it was never really in front of a camera. It's always behind a mic and, you know, on radio. So this is completely, you know, different for me. Not always comfortable on it, you know, on a video or on a camera, but certainly getting more comfortable with it as time goes by. But again, appreciate everyone that's come along for the ride so far. And like I said, if you like what you're hearing and seeing, please hit subscribe and like as well. So today I'm going to, I did an Elephant 6 showcase with a bunch of original vinyl from the Elephant 6 collective, which was primarily like a early, late 80s, early 90s to mid 90s collective of artists from pretty much the Georgia area, but they were from all over, like Louisiana, Georgia, Denver, even New Hampshire. That kind of came together with a, you know, a like for or a love for the Beatles and the Beach Boys and the Zombies and the British Invasion, the Kinks, all that stuff kind of rolled into one. Late 60s psych pop, baroque pop, Millennium, Sagittarius. I could go on and on. But one of the albums in there kind of, I'm not going to say started it all because this was going on prior to this album, but this is probably one of the, you know, up there as one of the most important albums for the collective, along with Jeff Mangum's output that he put out for Neutral Milk Hotel. But this is probably the one that really, you know, really got things going for the collective and really brought a lot of, not fame, but a lot of attention in that cult following that they have. In that, this is Olivia Tremor Control's Dusk at Cubist Castle. And this is the original USA pressing here. And I'm going to kind of go in depth because the prior video I didn't really go in deep on any of the albums. So I'm going to go in deep on this. But first I just want to show you, this is the original USA press. You can always tell an original USA press because the clouds that you see here, you can kind of see it, it's a cloud effect, is darker on the USA, the original USA. The represses were a little lighter. So, and you can definitely tell the difference. So, in addition to that, when you go into the actual label, the original vinyl, original USA press had colored labels. The repress that came after this had black and white labels. So that is a another way to tell. You know, there's a cool little swan there. So between the darker clouds and that, of course, this came with a really cool insert. Double album. And then this is the original UK press. So the original USA press was on Flydaddy Records, 1996. The original UK press was on Blue Rose from 1996. And the big difference here is the UK press came in a gatefold. So the packaging was a little better, I think, with the UK. Now, this is a USA band, so of course you're going to want the USA press, which sounds fantastic. The original sounds just great. But I will tell you, this UK press, if you're a fan of this album and this band, you're going to want to have both. Because not only you'll get the gatefold, but also I think there's a deeper bass on the UK press. The bass is deeper a little more bottom end on this UK press, and of course you get the it's not laminated. It looks like it might be laminated, but it's not. It's just a shiny finish. You get the really cool gatefold with all of the artwork from the band. So the band did all these drawings, band members. Really good artist. Kind of childlike as far as the art goes, but I love childlike art. Music from the unrealized film script Dusk at Cubist Castle by Olivia Tremor Control. And there was never a film released for this. So just so you know, Bill Doss, one of the founding members, along with Will Cullen Hart. Bill Doss passed away very young a few years back. So Will Cullen Hart said there's probably never going to be a movie done on this, but you just never know. You never know, but he's still alive. But unfortunately, Bill Doss, who wrote about half of the music on this, has passed away. So, just getting into this a little bit, I want to kind of go in deep with this particular album. I want to start with the first track, Opera House. So, the first track on this, Opera House, was written by Will Cullen Hart. He wrote it when he was 17 years old, so really, just amazing stuff there. It's quite a long song to lead off. It's fuzz psych pop. It's got a lot of fuzz. It's pretty heavy for the band. And there are 8 different guitar parts on it. There were 50% of the collective, the Elephant Six Collective, were playing guitar on that song. So you've got Neutral Milk Hotel's Jeff Mangum playing guitar. You got Robert Schneider from Apples and Stereo playing guitar. You got Julian Coster playing guitar from the music tapes. You got Will Cullen Hart playing guitar. So it's just a conglomeration of these guys coming together and playing on this album. There's so many players on this album, it's not even funny. It's just a massive list. But that's Opera House, the first song. It was inspired by the first Velvet Underground album. But it doesn't sound like Velvet Underground. But Will Cullen Hart has gone on record to say that's the album he had in mind when he wrote it when he was 17 years old. He wrote it on his acoustic guitar. The next track is Frosted Ambassador, and basically that's about a minute long. It's an intro to the next song called Jumping Fences. Frosted Ambassadors actually is kind of like, it's very Burt Bacharachian, so it'll remind you of that with the a lot of major sevenths and so forth. But it's an instrumental that leads into a really cool pop song called "Jumping Fences," which was written by Bill Doss, the late Bill Doss, which is very late 60s pop sounding. Tons of harmonies in that song. You got piano, you got bass. It's very blissful. It's very happy. It's just a great track. And then next you've got Define a Transparent Dream. Now Jumping Fences kind of melts right into Define a Transparent Dream. Such a cool transition. There's no break. This is a Will Cullen Hart song, and it's modeled after the Beatles and the Beach Boys on acid. So if you like the Beach Boys Smile era and Pet Sounds era, along with 67 Magical Mystery Tour Beatles, you will definitely, there's a lot to like in Define a Transparent Dream. Just that organ, it's not really an organ, it's a keyboard intro, but it's like a fuzzed out key to bring you into the song and drag you into the song is just so psych. And then next is No Growing, right here. No Growing's very Beatlesque, but with Olivia Tremor Control's spin. Bill Doss wrote it with John Lennon in mind, so it's very Lennon-esque. And then that kind of goes into Holiday Surprise 1, 2, 3, which is right here. And that was written by Will Cullen Hart. It's a pop song for the first 2 minutes, and then it kind of goes into a drone. So the first part, 1, 2, 3, number 1 is a pop song. Number 2 is like an acid-soaked drone. And then it kind of ends with a really hard-edged psych with guitar stabs at the end. So that's part 3. where Robert Schneider from Apples and Stereo sings backup in it. But really cool. And then that leads into a song called Courtyard, written by Bill Doss. He wrote it in New Jersey, and it has kind of a music hall kind of sound to it. Julian Coster from Music Tapes plays on it as well. What else can I say? It's just a fun song. It's just got a lot going on. So there's a lot. This whole album, every single song has so much going on in it, yet it's not muddy. Everything is separate. You can hear all the instruments. You can make every instrument out. So you'll be listening and going, wow, I hear the wood blocks. I hear the kazoo. I hear a singing saw. So you're going to hear all these different elements, but that's what makes it fun to kind of come back to. The replay value with this album is fantastic for that reason and the melodies. Next is Memories of Jacqueline. Let's see if I got that right. Yeah, 1906. And that's a Will Cullen Hart song, and it's kind of like, it's just a 1 minute song, and there's a bent note in there that kind of drones on, and that's actually an open tune to E. So it's all, the whole track is done with open tuning. So pretty cool stuff there. And then that leads into Tropical Bells, which is an instrumental with fuzz guitar written by Will Cullen Hart. It's an acid psych fuzz song with a descending kind of chord progression that descends. I shouldn't say descends, it rescends. It just kind of goes down. But it's really cool. And then that leads into, it's kind of like an intro song for Can You Come Down With Us, which is amazing. Just a fantastic track that mixes right here. That mixes, this is going to sound strange, but it really works. Pink Floyd with the Monkees Porpoise Song. So take the vocals from Mickey Dolenz, which I always thought Mickey Dolenz is a great vocalist. I love his voice. Very lush, very psych. Love Mickey Dolenz vocals, especially on Porpoise Song. Take those vocals, take that atmosphere that the Monkees created in the Porpoise Song, that Carole King song, and mix it with like metal era Floyd, even Dark Side of the Moon era Floyd, and you get the song Can You Come Down With Us. Just phenomenal song. After that song, we have Marking Time, which is a Bill Doss song. He wrote it on the electric guitar, but ended up, Robert Schneider, who kind of produced this album and did all the recording for it, partially in Denver, he decided it would be best with the piano, so he used the piano, but wrote it with the guitar. So really cool pop song there. And then that kind of leads into this long suite, which takes up all of side 3, called Green Typewriters. And Green Typewriters right here is a 10-part suite, kind of like what Abbey Road did, but it's not. Everything's connected. It's a 10-part suite. It just goes. There's no stopping. It goes from song 1 to song 10. It flows. But it's just it's hard to explain. There's some pop songs in there. There's some acid psych. There's pop psych, baroque pop. There's carnivalesque music in it. There's found sounds. Like, for instance, I think it's track Green Typewriters 8 is like a 9-minute dreamscape. So, and there's found sounds in there. You'll hear birds chirping. You'll hear water running. You'll hear water droplets. You'll hear wind and rain. It's just really cool. It's like a dreamscape. And then you'll hear some carnivalesque music in here. You'll even hear a track, I think it's number 6. It's about a minute or two long, and it features like clarinets and saxes, and it's very Miles Davis, kind of jazzy, but it has that jazz freak out sound that Miles Davis was so good at. So that's Green Typewriters, a 10-part side 3 long suite that is very interesting and you will keep coming back to. So now we get to side 4, which is pretty much all acid psychedelic pop for the most part. Starts with Spring Succeeds, which is a Bill Dawes song, super Beatlesque. When I say Beatlesque, I'm talking like Revolver through Magical Mystery Tour Beatlesque. A little bit of Abbey Road in there for good measure. And then that leads into Theme for a Delicious Grand Piano, which is a minute long, written by Hart. It's just a haunting piece, instrumental with like plucked piano strings. So they opened up the grand piano and plucked the strings in there. So that's what you hear. And that leads in kind of like an intro to I Can Smell the Leaves, written by Will Cullen Hart. Will Cullen said he kind of wrote this song. He was inspired to write this song by a walk outside where he could literally he said he could smell like the leaves outside. He could smell spring. He could smell the water and the bugs and the dew on the leaves outside. And he wrote a song about it. And, you know, the song was recorded in Denver on 4-track, as all these were. It's just very AM gold. That 70s AM gold sound is on that track. And then that leads into, that leads into the title track, which is a 7-minute instrumental with like guitar loops, backwards guitar, found sounds, very psych, for sure. And then finally, the last 2 tracks are 2 of my favorites on the album. The first one there is The Gravity Car, and that is like, you will feel like you're at a park or a carnival. Just really cool. Like, it has that merry-go-round sound, has instruments in there that you will feel like you're on the merry-go-round on a horse going up and down. But it's very poppy. It's catchy. It's melodic. So there'll be a lot to love. And then the last song, which is my very favorite from this band, my favorite song they ever wrote, NYC, New York City, NYC 25. The 25 is from inspired by Bowie, but the song is super Beatlesque, written by Bill Dawes. And it's actually the song that leads off this video. So that's the snippet I played you. I played you basically the intro, the verse, and the first chorus from the track, just so you can hear how amazing and how catchy it is with the harmonies, the chord changes. And when I say it's Beatlesque, but it's not copying the Beatles. It's Olivia Tremor Control all the way through with a Beatlesque influence. And it just doesn't get better than that. And it's just such a catchy song, and I keep coming back to it. I've never gotten sick of it. It was written in 95. It was released in 96. And what are we talking, like 30 years ago? Almost 30 years ago. And I'm not sick of the song. I can come back to it and listen to it 10 times a day. So just really great stuff. But that ends this album. It's a double album, like I said. It's a long album. I don't have the time. I'm going to say it's over 80 minutes. But it was recorded really well on 4-track. A lot of people hear 4-track and they think it's going to be, super lo-fi transistor radio sounding, and that's just not the case. These guys are masters of the 4-track. Robert Schneider, who recorded it and produced it with the band, is a master with the 4-track. If you know of Apples and Stereo's work and the sound that he gets out of that 4-track and 8-track, which he's used, you will know how incredible his productions sound. So, but again, Olivia Tremor Control, just, check it out for yourself. Check out the snippets. If you've never heard of this music or heard of the band, I guarantee you will love it. If you love 60s British Invasion, Psych, you will absolutely fall in love with this album and pretty much everything from the Elephant Six Collective. So again, thanks for watching. I'll have more to come for sure. Some more deep dives. That was more of a deep dive into one album, but we'll have more of those coming as well. But thanks for watching. I really appreciate everyone. Crazy Jimmy out.